Hi all, today we are going to discuss regarding proteins. So these proteins are large molecules that contain hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, and some few of the proteins will contain sulfur also, and these will have complex structure, and these will make up the 12 to 18% of the body mass of a lean adult. And this protein term is derived from the Greek proteos, proteos, meaning holding first place. Okay, so and these proteins are species specific, and also it is organ specific. That means each species will have their own protein structure, and also each organ will have the particular protein nature. Okay, so that means the protein that are present in muscle will differ from that of brain and liver. Okay, and also you know that these proteins include diversity of structures resulting in a wide range of functions also, and this will account for 50% of the dry mass of most cells, and 12 to 18% of the lean adult body mass. Okay, and it will have many roles in our body as support, storage, transport, cellular communication, movement and defense against foreign substances, etc. And these proteins are made up of the building blocks called amino acids. Okay, so amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. These each amino acid is having a carboxylic group and an amino group. Okay, whenever a peptide bond is formed between two amino acids, that is NH2 and COOH, a water molecule is removed and the reaction is called dehydration. That protein digestion is a hydrolysis reaction. Okay, so when two amino acids combine, a dipeptide is formed. Adding another amino acid to dipeptide produces a tripeptide. Like that, by addition of each amino acid, it will form a peptide chain. So 4 to 9 amino acids, if it is added, like it will cause a small protein. And a polypeptides, that is 10 to 2000 or more amino acids, it consists of the polypeptide chain. Okay, almost it will have larger proteins of hundreds of thousands of amino acids also. Okay, so what are the functions of these amino acids? Means enzymatic proteins. These will function as a selective acceleration of chemical reactions, especially digestive enzymes catalyze the hydrolysis of bonds in food molecules, and also Cori-Cori cycle, glycolysis, like that. So Krebs cycle. In anything, these proteins will play as a major enzymes in which will cause the addition of substrate and enzyme, which will lead to a product, isn't it? And coming to the storage proteins, these will function as a storage of amino acids. Examples are casein. The protein of milk is a major source of amino acids for baby mammals. Plants have storage proteins in their seeds. O-albumin is a protein of egg white, used as amino acid source for the developing embryo. And also defensive proteins, which will protect against defense diseases like antibodies. So you know, anti-sera, that is prepared for vaccines and all, it will all the antibodies are immunoglobulins which will fight against the invading pathogens or antigens, isn't it? And transport proteins, these are useful for the transport of substances. You know that in plasma membrane we have studied that these proteins will have the hemoglobin, that is useful for iron containing protein of vertebrate. Blood transports oxygen from the lungs to the parts of the body. As like that, so many proteins are there in which will act as a carrier proteins in the plasma membrane, right? They will carry out so many molecules inside of our blood and also in the tissues. And hormonal proteins, these are useful for the coordination of organisms activities. Examples is insulin, a hormone secreted by the pancreas, causes other tissues to take up glucose, thus regulating blood glucose contents. So you know, very it is a large molecular protein, insulin, which will regulate the storage of blood glucose levels, isn't it? So like that, so many hormones are there in our body. Almost all are made up of proteins, the PDH, LTH, everything. And receptor proteins, these will function as a response of cell to chemical stimuli. So receptors built into the membrane of a nerve cell detect signaling molecule released by other nerve cells, and it will cause the stimulation process. That acetylcholine, like that neurotransmitter which are released, will fit into a receptor that is nothing but made up of a protein macromolecule. And contractile and motor proteins which will function for as a movement, and examples are motor proteins are responsible for the undulation of cilia and flagella. Actin and myosin proteins are responsible for the contraction of muscles, like that. And structural proteins mainly for support. Example as keratin is a protein of hair, bones, feathers and other skin appendages. Insects and spiders use silk fibers to make their cocoons and webs respectively. And collagen and elastin proteins provide a fibrous framework in animal connective tissues. So these are all you know very well in anatomy. And just to recall the function of proteins, we are discussing this. And enzymes are a type of protein that act as a catalyst to speed up the chemical reaction. This is also you know how if you add an enzyme, it will speed up the reaction process and it will cause the substrate to product mechanism very fast. And the amino acids are the organic molecules with carboxyl and amino groups. You know, this is the structure of basic structure of the amino acid. This amino group and carboxylic group will be present, which is added to the alpha carbon. And amino acids differ in their properties due to differing in side chains called R groups. So amino acids in human body are mainly there are you know very well about that 20 amino acids will be present. So these are the essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. So non-essential means these will be synthesized in our body itself and obtained from the essential means which can we need to take from the outside by the way of daily we are what we are taking from food and supplements, like that. So these are essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids. And polypeptides are unbranched polymers built from the same set of 20 amino acids. A protein is a biologically functional molecule that consists of one or more polypeptides. You can see here there is a hydrolysis process will occur, removal of one water molecule and addition of the one carboxylic group with amino group in between this peptide bond will be formed. So this is the some of the molecular structures of few amino acids, glycine, alanine, valine, like that. And polar side chains of hydrophilic which will contain of serine, threonine and cysteine, like that. And electrically charged side chains which are hydrophilic, these will have mainly present in aspartic acid, glutamic acid, lysine, arginine and histidine. We can see basic positively charged ones with NH2 plus as a activated component, and negatively charged with free radical of oxygen. And these peptide bonds are linked by amino acids are linked by peptide bonds. A polypeptide is a polymer of amino acid. Polypeptide range in length from a few to more than 1,000 monomers, as we discussed already. And each polypeptide has a unique linear sequence of amino acids with a carboxyl end at the C terminus and an amino acid end at the N terminus. You can see here very well. And this is the how peptide bonds are formed. And protein structure and function. You know that all the proteins are string of amino acids bound with peptide bonds. So these will have a unique shape in every structure, that is a large number of charged atoms in a polypeptide chain facilitates hydrogen bonding within the molecule, causing it to fold into a specific three-dimensional shape. The three-dimensional shape is a important activity of a protein. Okay, whenever it is having a three-dimensional shape particularly, then it will be a active protein. So this will have mainly 4 levels of protein structure, that is primary structure, secondary, tertiary and quaternary. Primary structure is a unique for amino acids. So you can see here the sequence of amino acids in a protein is like orders of letters in a long word. Okay, so these are one round refers to one amino acid. Okay, it is a sequence of amino acid. So this primary structure is determined by inherited genetic information. Okay, it will have promptly the two ends of N and C terminal. Okay, so it will have a very long neat structure with carboxyl and amino acid end with NH2. And secondary structure, it mainly stabilized by hydrogen bonds. Mainly it is two types of secondary structure in proteins, that is alpha helix and beta pleated sheet. Okay, alpha and beta. Okay, alpha is held together by hydrogen bonds between the hydrogen and oxygen atom. Example, keratin protein present in hair, nails and skin. And beta pleated sheet will have the hydrogen bond formed between two chains of the amino acid chains. Example is fibrion, spider protein, like that. So this is the secondary structure, which will have alpha helix and beta pleated sheets will be arranged like this. And coming to the tertiary structure, it refers to the overall three-dimensional shape of the polypeptide chain. In this several protein bonds are present, which will have the strongest SS covalent bond between the sulfhydryl groups of two monomers of an amino acid, cysteine. Many weak bonds, hydrogen bonds, ionic bonds and hydrophobic interactions also help for the folding pattern of the proteins. అర్థమైందా? సో దట్ మీన్స్ మనకి వాండర్వాల్ ఫోర్సెస్ కానివ్వండి, హైడ్రోఫోబిక్, హైడ్రోజన్ బాండ్స్, వీక్ బాండ్స్, వీటన్నిటి వల్ల మనకి ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఫోల్డింగ్ ప్యాటర్న్ అనేది వస్తుంది టెర్షియరీ స్ట్రక్చర్లో. అండ్ దీస్ బాండ్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ మెయింటైనింగ్ ద టెర్షియరీ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఆఫ్ ద సమ్ ప్రోటీన్స్. ఇక్కడ IMF అంటే intermolecular forces such as London dispersion forces and van der Waals interactions, hydrogen bonds and hydrophobic interactions may affect the protein structure. So this is the tertiary structure. We can see here the bonds formed by the hydrophobic interactions and hydrophilic interactions. And coming to the quaternary structure, some proteins contain some more polypeptide chains that associate to form a single protein. These proteins have quaternary structure. Example is hemoglobin that contains 4 polypeptide chains. Okay, so the collagen is also a fibrous protein consisting of 3 polypeptides coiled like a rope. So whenever the tough structure is present with 2 or more sheets that are binded together, then we will call it as with a more number of polypeptide chains attached, then it is a quaternary structure. And hemoglobin is another example, as we already discussed. It will have 2 alpha and 2 beta chains we arranged with attached with 4 polypeptides. And this is the 4 levels of protein structure. So primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structures. And if any change in primary structure, not only in primary, any structure that varies, then it will lead to some defect in protein. So mainly if there is a defect in the primary structure, example is sickle cell disease, an inherited blood disorder resulted from single amino acid substitution in the protein hemoglobin. So this protein hemoglobin, mainly valine is replaced with glycine, I think. So 7th position, then it is leading to sickle cell anemia. So what determines protein structure? So protein structure is determined mainly by physical and chemical conditions that can affect structure, alterations in pH, salt concentration, temperature, environmental factors. And also this loss of protein's native structure is called denaturation. the denatured protein is a strong biologically inactive one. Okay, so whenever the denaturation occurs, the denaturation means moving from original structure to the denatured protein structure. Okay, and sometimes renaturation is also possible by some mutations or some usage of medicine and all, or some with a period of the self molding capacity with our cells. It can manage, we can come to normalized cell structure. But if denatured some of the protein structures, sometimes it may not be denatured and it will result in a harmful disorders too. So coming to the carbohydrates, we'll discuss later.